Hey guys, so sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded. I haven't really been playing the system much, just because of when I initially got it all up and running. I did a bit of a stupid thing really. I played the system when the van was still covered in shit, you know, mess everywhere, and being the first install of my own that I've done with inverted subs, you know, I didn't really count for this, but where I'd been welding and there's shards of metal all over the floor and stuff, as soon as I turned it on to play it, it was so fucking windy in here. Picked up all the little metal shards, and unluckily a couple of those shards landed in two of my subs, landed on the coils and arced them out. It was a fair fireworks show in here, but hey ho, live and learn, eh? So at the moment, my sponsor Alphard UK have lent me two subwoofers. One of them is one that I previously did break when I was going for a world record, and what happened was, in the Turan, two of my amplifiers on the 20 hertz test tone on the in the competition, two of my amplifiers went into protect, just because I was pushing them way too hard and the power supply got a bit too low. So two went into protect and one didn't, and the one that didn't moved the two center subs at 20 hertz full chat in a massive box with 4 passive radiators. So what happened was it tore the spider assembly. It didn't tear the actual spider, but what it did was crack the ring that holds it together. So obviously that's no good, and as I had a show the following week and I didn't have time to get it reconed, I swapped out the sub for a new one, and the old one I gave back to Alphard UK, but they attempted to fix it by putting a bolt through all the way through the spider assembly, which initially it looks like it's fixed, but what it is the spiders have shifted slightly, and when I play at higher volumes, the coil moves and scrubs on the magnet pole. So for the last sort of few videos that you've seen of this system, it's actually turned down at the moment because of I can't crank it. You know, I don't want to damage anything further, and I don't want you know, to blow another sub. So I'm just waiting for my subs to come back from repair, and then I can tweak the system, crank it up a bit, hopefully get some good results out of it. I did initially post on the channel showing I did 160 decibels out of this, and yeah, I did, and that was on the preset of basically it turned down for you know, not to break the subwoofers. The other subwoofer that they've given me is actually the new Defbonce 415, so it's you know, the same line as my subwoofers, but they're an 8-layer coil instead of a 6-layer, and they you know, they've done loads of tweaks to it, so the magnets are different, the baskets are different, and basically everything's different on it. Now they're using American made coil, so I'll show you the two subwoofers that I'm on about. They're quite obvious to point out, but until I get my subs back, there won't be any like major bass videos, if you like. But with the system, more than happy with how the box came out, how the whole system came out. You know, the the box was designed by Henry Harwood at Harwood Acoustics, and couldn't thank him enough for how well this turned out. So during low volume testing, it's showing that the internal chamber is the internal port is peaking at 23 hertz, and the external is peaking at 45 hertz. So bandwidth for days, it's crazy. The wind it produces is fucking insane, and also just the fact I've got space in here. You know, I love the Turan. The Turan was an epic machine, but it was a tool, you know, made for one purpose only, which is to demo at over 60s all day long, you know, sort of no issues. When you want 60s all day long, no issues, you tend to, I mean, when I say 60s, I mean, you know, shit, 62, 63 kind of demos. And when you want that sort of daily, without any issues, you're going to lose your creature comforts, you know. As you saw how it was built pretty extreme, but that was still my daily. And, you know, when you got a journey, like a 14-hour journey, when we go over to Austria and stuff, yeah, it's, I would class it as torture, but, you know, some others may love it, but yeah, it wasn't for me. So, this system, as I was building it, I realised, you know, I wanted, you know, comforts, like, you know, having air conditioning, having things like an armrest that's, like, you know, comfortable, space to recline your seats, you know, stuff like that. And in this system, I mean, I can fit, if I want to carry anything, I can fit stuff. You know, I can recline my seats right back. Really happy with it. So I'll show you a little bit about the system. So as you can see, all 6 subs. This one over here on the right, where's my finger? There's my finger. That's the one I was on about with the spider assembly that's cracked and then just bolted back together. So like I say, as you know, as I gain it up, as I turn it up, the coil tends to scuff on the pole, and you can hear it over the rest of the system, and it's just, yeah, so won't be turning it up. And then this one down here with the dodgy coloured wires is the new model of the 415. Very subtle differences, but basically on the magnet you can see there's not a different angle here, it's all one radius. The labels aren't labels anymore, they're actually machined out of the machine metal. Same as baskets, the old baskets say Alphard on them. The new basket is Defbonce because of the brand has changed name. So yeah, so the brand's changed name altogether. So now it's no more Alphard, it's actually Defbonce in terms of this range. So here you can see, obviously, you can see the internal port. The external port, most people struggle to see, especially in videos, because of how big it is. As you can see here, this and this piece here is my external port. So that's floor to ceiling, and it's I think it was 30 inches wide or something like that. Massive port, which is great because, you know, when I want to do some party tricks, you know, I chuck a couple of girls in there, insane hair tricks, great reaction. So yeah, it's good fun. So you saw that I fitted Volkswagen Turan seats in here. Initially I actually bought them to replace the seats in my old Turan, so then I can have the embroidered ones in here. But when I actually got them, I sort of fell in love with them. I think they're awesome. Plus they've they're from the newer model, so they've got things like extra bolster, back support, stuff like that. Even pockets all around them. It's crazy. So yeah, in terms of me putting stuff away, I can hide stuff without it all being on show and stuff. And I think they go quite well with the system. Well, I think they go quite well with the rest of the van. You know, got all my creature comforts, pockets everywhere. And you all saw me when I built my doors. So they're the doors. I trimmed this in a grey vinyl that matches the grain of the original dash and the colour, and then I trimmed the outer in a black vinyl that's got quite coarse grain, which matches the coarse grain of the top of the dash. So sort of, you know, trying to keep it tied in with the rest of the vehicle. And of course, you remember my daily setup. I've added to my daily setup. I've actually added some. They're a off-brand of Morel 6x9, but they're a mid-base. So basically, underneath the seats, you can just about see them there. So I've got one for each, for under each seat, and they are absolutely crazy in terms of how much detail they give you within the system. So and that's just for my daily setup, which this head unit is only for my daily setup. So it literally, that will only play for these and for the speakers underneath the seats. My main system is run off of an iPhone, which everyone's probably losing the plot about, but I have, wherever it is, but I have made a little contraption, if you like, which can that has my Mosconi controller in, my voltmeters, and my switches turn on the main system. So that allows me to control everything, and I don't have to have a head unit or anything like that, which I'll show you now. As you can see, I've got the Mosconi controller. I've got my 2 voltages. My engine's not on at the moment, so that's just my float voltages, and then all the switches to be able to turn everything on. And this, you know, this little box here, I can have it on my lap, I can have it wherever I want, you know. I can take it outside of the vehicle if I need to. So pretty cool. So that's how I run the system, just playing tracks off of my iPhone, and it links through Bluetooth to the Mosconi processor. I'll show you that in a minute. Another little creature comfort I added, because I just need to feel comfortable when driving. So I've added a most people say ironing board, but this is big ass armrest, nice and comfortable for change, you know, for daily driving. And of course, people will say, well, how are people meant to get in the back? And what I did was I made it easily removable, just on a couple of poles here that just slides down into, and then people can walk straight into the box. So this is the overall layout of the Mosconi. You go into each preset, so you know, you can set an SQ system, SPL system, let's say different competitions if you want, and stuff like that. So this is sort of just a quick overview. I'm not going to go into too in depth, but you got basically the output to each amplifier, so you can rake back the gains on here. So you set up your amplifiers to clip point and then rake them back on here, or turn them up, whatever you want to do. So As you can see, I've got my tweeters. I've got to be careful because it's touchscreen. But yeah, tweeters at 100%. I've got my 6s at 37%, my 8s at 39%, and my subs are at the moment around 25%. Eventually I need to bring them up to sort of around about 90%, something like that. I don't want to run them at 100% to the point where, because the amps are set up with the DD1 to, well, not with DD1, they're set up with a scope to clip, and then obviously when I bring that up to the clip point, if I play any tracks that are slightly rebased or something like that, it's going to be clipping hard, so I need to bring it to probably about 80 or 90%, something like that, and then it'll be pretty fucking loud. You got so much with all this, your EQ for each thing. So once again, tweeters, mids and highs and subwoofers, and this is all EQ. You got your crossovers. She set your crossovers. Mine is basically on a generic, not generic, but like a bass map at the moment. I haven't done any fine tweaking with it. Just basically got it up and running. Time delay, which is fine for SQ and stuff, but for what I'm doing, not necessary. Your phase and then your level, so you can do individual channels, adjust your levels and stuff like that. And that's basically the Mosconi all in one. There's a lot to it, there's a lot that I haven't shown, but it sort of shows you what you can do as a basic program, so it gives you a bit more insight on what the Mosconi is, rather than me just saying Mosconi and you lot not understanding. Some of you will, some of you won't. Trying to think of a couple of other things. So you saw obviously right in the beginning with Phil, we welded in bars into the roof to support the windscreen, and me and a couple other of my friends were sort of trialing it out at the same time, and none of us knew how they would perform because we're so used to having a stripper pole, knowing 100% that you're not going to have any issues, whereas with the with this support there's no actual downward support for the windscreen, and so far absolutely spot on. Not an issue. I mean, obviously it moves a little bit, but it's moving sort of like 10 mil, and I'm completely comfortable with that. I'm not smashing screens, not having any issues like that. My friends, John with the Alpha Corsa, he's got no movement in his screen, and he's done exactly the same thing, and it's all turned out spot on. But the other benefit with it is, it sort of doesn't obstruct you, you don't have any issues with like banging your head or your elbow on the stripper pole. And also I've managed to install my my sun visors back in, so as you can see the step in the roof. So basically this is 2 layers of 18mm MDF, and that comes to this point here, and then this, as you can see the step, that is actually a 40mm box section of steel, with bars that run to the front windscreen, which is also braced across the front, and then in between I've put another 2 layers of 18mm just to fill in the voids between the bars. And as you can see, I've still got my sun visors all usable, so I'm not getting blinded daily. Still managed to keep things like my rain sensor and my auto lights and stuff, and still got a heated windscreen, so in the winter time defrosts instantly. So yeah, really chuffed with that. Honestly, apart from things like trimming, having it professionally trimmed, I couldn't see any improvement on this system for me personally. The amount I enjoy this system and how everything is working is, so the system's absolutely spot on. The van doesn't struggle to pull the weight at all. I had the engine remapped. I also did the straight through exhaust, just sort of to counter the weight. The exhaust was more because I was worried, obviously, DPF clogging up and then bending rods or something like that. So, but it gave me the great opportunity of using a couple of my old 4-inch voice coils from those subs, as the exhaust tip. So, sort of keeping my exhaust sort of audio related. So that turned out really well. Yeah, I think I've had a couple of issues in the last sort of couple of months, which is my injectors went, MAF sense, glow plugs, and engine maintenance parts. But it ended up costing me so much money. I mean, about £1.5 grand in total, and that really, really put a dent in things. But other things that I've done that I haven't shown on camera yet is I fitted a massive air horn to the van, mainly because I was driving the other day and a taxi pulled out on me. That was fucking horrendous. And I didn't have any horn, so I thought, if I'm gonna have a horn, I'm gonna have a proper horn. Make sure that people know where the fuck I am. Same as I've fitted a light bar to the roof. Light bar, absolutely insane in terms of what you can see visually. It's fucking mad. But also great for when people pull out and you just put it on and fucking blind the shit out of them. So, go fuck them cunts. So I know a lot of you haven't really seen the back of the van yet. I didn't actually realise until someone commented saying about the back of the van. So I've been posting it on my social media, so Facebook, Instagram, just go check it out. But I didn't realise I hadn't posted it on YouTube because I've been posting it so much on Instagram and stuff. So it's sort of the reveal. So as you can see, so what I've done is I've sounded the rear doors using the 4mm thick Alphard sound deadening. Crazy stuff. Can't believe how much it deadens it up. But the plan with the rear doors is basically I'm going to be filling the entire thing with mids and highs. I'm not 100% what I'll be doing yet, but probably as many 6s as I can, as well as some horns, just so I've got a bit more projection out the back. With the back of the van, so this design isn't just a load of wasted space. Basically I've planned for the future, if you like, to have 3 of these amplifiers per panel. So up here, so all 4 panels will be covered in amplifiers eventually. The Mosconi processor over here on the right. So this is a 6 to 8 V8 with both Bluetooth functions. So the initial Bluetooth is so I can stream music to it, but the other Bluetooth function is so I can actually control it via Bluetooth through the phone if I want to change presets or do anything like that. But I've also got the master controller to be able to do that anyway. So there's 15 16-volt batteries, all excess power, and then behind this panel I've hidden it away, but I've got a 140 amp hour lithium battery that runs my mids and highs at the moment. And of course I've got the 3 12Ks, but as you can tell they're running at high voltage, so they're sitting around 18 volt, wired at 1 ohm, so I'm seeing around about 15,000 watts out of each. So total of 45,000 watts to my subs. And at the moment these are just running my doors, but I've got 3K on my doors at the moment, and like I say, eventually all going to be upgrading that. And then over here, for when I do indoor shows, I've got the Intelli supply by excess power. which allows me to plug in. You can see it down here, it's just in this little cubby hole here. Basically allows me to plug in and charge the batteries from the mains, but also use it as a power supply for the from the mains. And of course, if everyone remembers, when I was building it, I left a little slot here. Not the prettiest thing, but basically all that is for me to slide big sheets of wood in, like 8x4 sheets of MDF, just so I can still work out the van. And yeah, I did just say that, still work out the van. It is my daily, so I need to be able to do everything I need to do. The van itself, probably hard to see on camera. I mean, silver's quite hard colour, but basically I've polished it at the moment, just mopped it up so it's all, you know, semi good, but eventually I'll be painting the van. I'm settled on what colour I want to use now. The first colour I wanted to use turned out way too expensive in terms of buying the paint, so I've had to change. But basically I'm going to be going for a purple on the van, sort of like candy purple. But I wanted to do a purple with a blue flip colour, but they were wanting something like £500 for like 500ml, and it's going to take sort of 3.5 litres just to paint the van. So yeah, a lot of money. So I best show you my air horn. Coming around to the front of the van. Got my light bar mounted up on the roof. Not much to see. I mean, you've seen my regulator, but basically I've got 2 big horns and the air compressor, and definitely good for some jump scares, that's for sure. And yeah, I basically just got a few little tweaks to do. Some things I'm learning, you know, with how much wind there is. I've got to redo my pillars, not in carpet. I've got to try and do them in leather somehow. Probably get them stitched, because the carpet with the wind, when the doors are open, just shreds. As you can see, doesn't look good. But those are minor teething problems compared to what you normally would have with like a 160 build, so I'm more than happy. This van wasn't made for, you know, competing. It was made for demoing. That's my main objective with every system. Is just I want a clean system that will play everything I want it to play, but to the public, everyone can hear it, everyone can jump in or, you know, stand by it and just enjoy it. So this van, the way it was done, I haven't reinforced the doors apart from sound deadening. I haven't reinforced anything like over obsessively like I did with the Turan, because the way the system's meant to play is with both doors open. So and once again, you know, Henry knocked out of the park with the design, to the point where the system is at its loudest point with both doors open. Not one door sealed or both doors sealed, or, you know, it is both doors open, which are insanely massive doors to be having fully open and playing full chat, but works perfect. I'll be testing in the future when I get my subs, mainly for myself, just to know what kind of numbers I'll be playing at. I will post them up eventually, and see, you know, so then you guys can understand the level of the system. But it's, you know, it won't be for competing. It will be so the way I'll be testing is mic up on the headrest and both doors open, and that's just to show if people want to jump in and sit in here, I can show them that they're sitting in sort of 160 odd decibels or whatever it's going to do, and it'll be on music, it won't be on tones. So one competition I will compete in, which will be DB Drag, and that's because it is just great fun. You know, I'm not stressed when I'm doing that competition. It's just a good fun competition, so if you haven't tried it, you should. Other than that, the van won't really be competing. It's not in my line of sight to do. I'm not that interested in competing at the moment. I just want to enjoy the music and let everyone be able to hear it. You know, I found when I was competing that I was making sure that I'd run through my test before I demo anyone, and the issue with that is you might not be tested until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which obviously if you're at a show, you know, you're trying to save your battery power for the competition, but everyone's missing out on your demos and stuff. And for me, I'm not really about that. You know, I want people to be able to hear my system. You know, granted, there's still going to be limitations. You know, say if it's a hot day, you know, you don't want to run your engine too much, or say you've been playing so long that your subs are starting to heat up, stuff like that. But then again, I tried to counter that with when I was buying my system, and it allows me to play a ridiculously long time because you know, I chose the 4-inch coils, which take forever to heat up, even on heavy clip, but works out pretty perfect for demoing, and people seem to enjoy it. So, you know, you'll see a few clips in a minute of it playing and, you know, what it's been doing. But like I say, until I get my subs back, I won't be able to do any serious videos of, you know, epic power, if you like, or epic wind. So but even at the moment, it's still pretty fucking mental. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. You know, make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.